let's jump into it. We're gonna watch SaltEMike and his week in review. Hopefully he hits. I don't know if you guys know. I'm sure most of you guys know. Christ Roberts posted in Spectrum. I believe it was Sunday night. So I'm hoping he covers it, and if he doesn't, then we're gonna hit either Level Cap Gaming or Board Gamer and see what they think of it, because I have my own opinions. And as I said, I don't want to bring the whole mood down if everybody's having a great Tuesday. I'm gonna try my level best to not be negative.
What's up, guys?
So here we go. We got SaltEMike and his weekend review. Let's check it out.
What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Weekend Review for September 25th.
Getting a lot of gray there, Mike.
2023.
I think you've been playing the game too much.
We called it all last week. 320 came out way too early.
320 came out way too early. I think all of us have that sentiment here in this chat. We all know that this was a half-baked effort. Maybe not so much on the devs' part. You know, I really think they tried as hard as they could to make this patch as good as they could, but we've discussed it we've discussed it so many times and so many times at length that it seems to me that marketing and business leaders are the ones that make the final decision on when things are going to come out, how they're going to come out, what features are going to be in it. I mean, they've said so much on that. It was right around, I want to say, Invictus, one of the Star Citizen lives. So, you know, we know that marketing controls it, you know. But yeah, 320 has been a pretty big disappointment for me, and I'm sure it's been with you guys as well.
But Star Citizen 320 isn't done in terms of additional features. More gameplay's coming, which means more instability is probably coming. Cargo also sounds like an absolute chore to deal with. All that and more.
Immersed, what's up? Chris came down. Yeah, Chris came down from the penthouse to speak to us plebes. That's right. You know, we got to hear. We got our Messiah's got to come down and talk to us peasants every once in a while. I don't disagree with Mike. I'm already hearing that they're hard at work at a 3.20x patch. I don't know. You know, do you guys think it's acceptable to release patches in this state? I don't think it is. A lot of people say otherwise. I'd like to know your guys' opinion in the comments.
On today's
or the chat.
Week in Review.
SaltEMike.
And as always, if this is your first week in review, this is where I take all of the official Star Citizen news each week and put it into one video while sharing some of my opinions about it. I also live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltEMike, every day but Monday, so I can get this video out to you guys starting at 6
I agree, Immersed.
Eastern Time. And because I'm streaming and making so many YouTube videos, I wanted to share with you today's sponsor, GMG Performance Eyeglasses. I spend a lot of time at that computer, which exposes me to excessive amounts of blue light. Blue light can seriously damage your eyes, and for me, it really messes with my sleep schedule. GMG Performance Eyeglasses act as a shield against that blue light, and they can help reduce eye strain, improve concentration, encourage your eye reflexes, but again, most importantly for me, preserving my quality of sleep. This is now the...
I'm interrupting your ad here, your sponsorship, Mike, and I got you in a really bad pause. I agree, Indrid, and I think I think it's very, very ironic that they spent 3 Inside Star Citizens and a StarCitizenLove, I believe, talking about audio, and then the patch comes out and the audio is borked to hell.
The second time we've worked with GMG, and I've been using these glasses since our last sponsorship on this channel when burning the midnight oil to put these weeks in review together, as well as other content for my live streams. Now, GMG also offers sleep gummies, which are a great companion to their blue light glasses.
Are they THC infused?
Sleep and reduce the time it takes to fall asleep in the first place. And, well, they have a 25% discount for
THC infused
as of the release of this video, so don't hesitate.
Yes, thank you for the ad. I mean the sub sponsorship.
with a
thing.
link in my description.
Thank you.
Check it out. And with that, let's jump into this disaster that is 320.
Yes, I want to hear your opinion, Mike. We don't have Grumpy anymore, so I got.
This is the week 320 went live, and we didn't get a single patch. They just did some background hotfixes and shipped the thing to live, and it shows. They also did a hotfix after launch, which resolves some things, but not the major issues yet.
I don't know about, once again, I don't know about everybody here watching, somebody here watching the VOD. The not wiped. I lost 5-6 ships, 4 or 5 ground vehicles, a lot of components. All my ships were downgraded from their upgraded status to their stock status, and some of them even got stripped of their stock components. So the not wiped wipe really kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Please stop telling people you're not going to wipe to only wipe again. And if I swear to God, I see somewhere in chat or in the comment section about how I needed to store my ships right, I did. I moved them all. I claimed them all. I stripped the ones that I really wanted to keep the most, and I lost the ones that I stripped because I wanted to keep them the most are most of the ones that I lost to begin with. Somehow I kept my Eclipse, but the hell if I know how that happened.
So if you haven't been following the project as much, let's quickly go over the highlights.
Yeah, I figured as much, Immersed.
If you really want to check out the nitty-gritty details, link to the patch notes are going to be in the description down below. Port Olisar has been replaced by Seraphim Station, which is basically to take the legacy stuff, remove it, and go to the stations that we all have gotten used to, and that all basically have all the features that a station is requiring for players. The Hull C
Port Olisar is
and with it
goated.
comes a new automated cargo loading system, which is
a new automated cargo loading system that does not work. I don't know about now, but the first few days of the patch came out, it was not working, and I don't know if it is working right now. When I jump in, I think it's 35 minutes late to a Jack Axton stream, and he's not flying the Hull C. That kind of lets me know it's probably still not working. If anybody else in, if anybody knows whether or not it's working, please let me know. But as of right now, September 26th, 2023, at this current time, I do not know if it works. It didn't Sunday night, or Saturday night. I think it was Saturday night. It didn't as of then.
Arguably a massive placeholder and is the most tedious system in gaming. Server crash recovery should be better now, with your ship being sent to your last landing location, and a ton of improvements and additions to Arena Commander, but I've only played Gun Rush. It's addicting. Again, link down in the description for all those Arena Commander patches.
Does anybody really, I'm probably going to grind out for a cat, so that's probably what I'm going to end up getting. And then my next question is, does anybody really care about the AC stuff? I mean, I go in there to set up my controls for my flight sticks when patches come out, or I want to try something new and I don't want to be in the PU to do it. Outside of that, I do not find a lot of the FPS right now to be that appeasing in Star Citizen for me to go into Arena Commander and do the FPS there. Maybe it works better in Arena Commander than it does in the PU, but the PU is... It has not been good for anybody that wants to do FPS in the PU. Not as of late.
Notes, but
I have a feeling, Squirrel, you're going to be waiting for a long time for the Legionnaire. I think you'll get, if you pledged for the A1, I'll bet you'll get that by IAE. The other Spirit, I have a feeling probably will not be ready until summer of next year.
I just haven't
my
dove into
opinion
it very much. And then a ton of minor quality of life fixes. But let's do a post-mortem already for 320. What went wrong? They pushed hot fixes for major issues, like an awful sound bug without testing if it worked. Inventory just completely stopped working.
Yep.
They still have major issues like ship repair, refuel, rearm simply not working. It's in the known issues, and they went live with this thing.
It's been in the known issues forever. I'm sure Mike's not going to get into the nitty gritty details about that, but that has been an ongoing issue for a long, long, long time. And it's something that has been needed to be addressed. When you have entire stations where you cannot, you land in a hangar and you can't repair, refuel, rearm, you have to fly to a pad and pray that the pad works on that station. Then the pad doesn't work on that station. Let's say you're out in the Crusader area. You fly all the way to Daymar. We all know that Daymar SCD-1 doesn't work. You have to fly. I forget the name of the other base there, or the other mining outpost there. You got to fly to that other mining outpost and use that. So there's mining pads, and that's been like that for 3 patches now. 3 major patches: 3.17, 3.18, 3.19. Well, 4, and now 3.20. You got to get that fixed. That is, if you want us to test the game, you have to have core features like that working, or we're kind of at a loss, man. We're kind of at a loss.
There are some pillars to a patch that simply have to work.
And for me, Squirrel, no, and this is for everybody. I'm not singling you out, Squirrel, but for me, no cache till Pyro. No cache to Pyro.
Repairing, refueling, and rearming just has to be one of them, right? The Hull C has tons of issue around cargo, rendering and becoming part of your ship. It's really problematic. Cargo in general will
is not going to work.
No money. Salvage hull scraping gives way less RMC than it did before, which is a confirmed bug, and many, many more.
Wow. So we got a laundry list of issues, and I knew a good portion of these were issues in the PTU. Why did they release this in the state that they did? I'll tell you why. Because guess what's going to be coming October 21st? That's right, CitizenCon. Guess what's going to come out 3 days before CitizenCon? I'm willing to make a bet. You know, I don't know how I'd pay you guys, but I'm willing to make a bet. I bet you that 3.20.1 comes out the week of, maybe not 3 days before, but the week of CitizenCon. Probably will. And yeah. So
what will they do better in the future? Nothing. Because we just went over the post-mortem, I think, last week or the week before.
It was 2 weeks ago, Mike.
That they were going to be better. And
they did I'm sorry for pausing right away. They did a post-mortem on 3.18, 3.19 combined 2 weeks ago, and they told us, you know, we could test at scale, we could do this, we could do that, the limited amount of testers, the this, the that, the other. So, you know, things didn't work out the way we wanted them to, and then there was things that we didn't know were going to break when it went live, and blah, 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 and we're going to do better, and we're going to do better, and it's your guys' fault for not testing, and, you know, all the usual shit was in that post-mortem. And then they go ahead and they do it again. They do it again. And not only do they do it again, what's even worse is this time they set up their implemented their new wave system for the PTU. They said that this was going to be the way of how we move forward, and this is how we fix the mistakes that we made in 3.18, 3.19. This is how we're going to do it. And what did they do? They, pardon me, but they fucked it up again. Again, they fucked it up. And why? I can tell you why. I did not take part in the PTU. I did not at all. But Marcus Wynn over at, we'll do it this way. Shout out Marcus. Marcus Wynn over on his YouTube channel jumped into wave 1 of the PTU with the sub. And guess what he was seeing? Some of the lowest player counts he's ever seen in the PTU. So you did a restructure and you shot yourselves in the foot, because now you have even less testers. Good job, guys. And then fast forward, what was it, 2.5 months? And we get this steaming pile of 320 put at our feet. This is not our fault, CIG. This is all 100% your fault.
They literally did this. Now, they're trying to be better. They woke up a little bit and did a 320 PTU patch. And with that, they fixed some issues around inventory, but not everything. Fixed some audio, although it wasn't really that bad for me after the second hot fix. But I'm hearing it's still a problem
Yes.
with some people on the server. The database is still having issues. Like 318, anybody? I'm getting some serious flashbacks here, and they nabbed a major server memory leak. So
I hope so, and welcome, Uncle Porkchop. I hope so. I really hope so. But my opinion is, and maybe I'm being a little harsh on them, but my opinion is when you release a postmortem, you tell everybody what was wrong, what went wrong, and how you're going to correct it. You implement your new 5-phase PTU testing, and then you do this. And I know for a fact that, once again, because I do read Spectrum and I do read Reddit, I don't post in either of them. All of this stuff was known throughout the PTU through phases 2 through 5, and they still moved ahead with it. That's saying some things, and it's not saying anything about us.
One good thing, I guess, and with the PTU, they're monitoring a number of problems this weekend, namely issues with player inventories. And yeah,
that's really bad.
This was, arguably, obviously not as bad as 318's launch, but they can't keep doing this stuff.
I agree, Mike. I agree. Let's see, what are the roadmap updates?
And all it really is, the first update, I guess, is just adding 3.20x cards, and one of them is the Argo SRV. This is basically a tugboat vehicle, if you guys didn't know what it was. It's really a sandbox tool for now, but I really, really badly want to see some actual gameplay built around this properly, like with missions or drop-offs at salvage yards, things like that, right? And then
my question is this: if we get ship tractor beams working and in a 3.x or a 3.20.x, does that mean the Cuddy and the Caterpillar and various other ships with tractor beams are going to get their tractor beams? Oh, by the way, thank you very much for the 6 likes tonight, guys. Are we going to get those other ships with tractor beams, or hear me out? And I'm like I said, I'm trying to be as even keel as possible, but is CIG going to now sell those tractor beams as modules to add on to those ships? And we have to go back to the pledge store and buy those. I'm not trying to be a dick, but that just seems to be the kind of way that marketing and their business leaders really have set this up to be. I don't want that to happen. I don't think it should happen. What's up, Skeet? But I'm really hoping that we don't go down this path.
Tractor beams that obviously go along very well with the SRV, right? Because it's what's used on the ship. Now, some will be remote operated like the Hull C, and we will be able to move and tow bigger objects. So the exciting place where they're kind of leaving us wanting to know more is how big, what objects
I think, the audio bug is pretty bad, but I think the inventory not working for a majority of the Star Citizen community was also a big issue. Chase, what's up?
Asteroids and rocks that we just mined on a planet's surface. What exact limitations will be placed on the smaller tractor beams, and when will these come in? We know some are coming, so
I know I've missed Chase too, JT.
And then added to the progress tracker is the Origin G12. This was one of those little LTI bait vehicles that they do from time to time.
Oh yeah,
the usual things.
I know.
Like,
yeah,
these are made for new artists to learn the ropes. Is probably what's happening here. But I posed this in my react to the roundup. Check out my react channel if you haven't yet. Would you rather them leave all these like little guys to the end and focus on vehicles that more people want, right? Can they even? Because they can't make ships with all their gameplay because there's only 2 gameplay teams and all the gameplay isn't done. The backlog of ships continues to grow, and it's kind of funny because anytime one is prioritized, well, guess what? Somebody else's favorite isn't, right? What if
Vicious, what's up, man?
So it doesn't really work like that, right? But that was the roadmap roundup. It isn't that big of a deal, but it's recognizing
Man, I get it, Vish. I get it, Vish.
Isn't over yet, and vehicle tractor beams are a major feature coming into the game. A sandboxy feature.
Right, Uncle, but we shouldn't have to do that. That's an awful pause, Mike. Sorry if you ever watch this. But we shouldn't have to do that, Uncle. Like, that's the point I'm making. Like, all the postmortems, the 5-wave, etc., they should know better, and this should not be allowed out if that's the issue. I don't think people should be having to do all these workarounds for new things breaking in the game, let alone all the old things that are going on.
Feature, but a major feature. There's going to be issues with it. There might be more instability than
Yes.
what we're dealing with now in 320. So it just, everything seems like it's happening too quickly and is unfinished and is just problematic.
See, the problem is if they don't go forward quick enough, then people say they're not going forward quick enough. But if they release stuff in the way, what up, Adam? How you doing, man? But if you add stuff, you should make sure it's at least mostly refined. That's what I'm having an issue with, is that a lot of the stuff is not even close to being mostly refined. You know, we have the broken hull C. You can't load it. You can just walk in and steal the ship. You know, inventory, which for the most part is the inventory is disaster as it is. Inventory in other games is done far better, and the way you gear up has also been done far better in other games. What bothers me though is that they put out things like this and we're expected to just deal with it, and I kind of don't like that attitude. I think that it should be in good order, and the things that are breaking or not working should be the new things that they added, not old things like inventory, audio, etc. Simi, what's up?
And then we also had a Squadron 42 monthly report, and I like to pluck a few features from the Squadron report that could realistically impact Star Citizen in a reasonable amount of time as well. Which CIG standards on that could be years, who knows? But the link to the full report is in the description, as I'm not really covering the Squadron 42 news on these videos yet until it's more of a thing. And with that, gameplay features. The big thing here is that they aren't talking about it. They aren't investigating it.
I'm Indra, to the medical thing. I'm thinking that it's possibly a bug or unintentional. We'll see as time goes on. That's once again, I don't understand why I should have to wear a backpack to the medical area if I want to buy med pens and a med gun to bring with me out on a bunker run. I have to go to the medical area, buy it, wait for it to go into that inventory, then take it out of that inventory, put it in my backpack, take it into the other area, and then put it on myself. You know, it's kind of dumb. Or at least, or to store it, because I can put it on myself in that area. But if I want to store it or, you know, put it on my ship so I can give it to somebody else, I got to transfer it through a backpack over that way. So, yeah. I have not played the hotfix today. I just got home from work a couple of hours ago, you know, hung out with the kids, made some dinner, took a shower, that sort of stuff.
Actually making a proper landing UI. You know, like being able to see the ground while in the cockpit, like no more needing to go into third person. This is really awesome.
That would be cool.
One of the most requested features by almost all the backers in Star Citizen. This is awesome. Vehicle features, they are still spending a lot of time.
We can't sell med guns anymore?
MFDs.
Man.
These things better be sick for how much time they're spending on them.
The
Also,
MFDs, I really hope,
loadout terminal with stuff being
continue to be worked on.
Personal hangars. I can see this being a thing for us in our hangars as well. Vehicle aiming is being investigated, like aim down sights for FPS weapons now is kind of how they described it, and resource network is progressing. Thrusters are giving them a hard time though, and yeah, it's just interesting to see that they're still working on resource network, and I'm just hoping we hear something at CitizenCon on that.
Oh, it wasn't like that for me the other night, Uncle.
Feature, and it's I think been over a year, maybe 2 now since we heard about it initially. But
that was the initial drop of the patch, but before it got fixed.
And then for video updates, we had an Inside Star Citizen titled Design Brief, Cargo Career Part 2. So the second part from last week. And the start was very much a continuation of the same show from last week.
Once again, I don't know how you guys like this new cargo thing that they're talking about, but to me it seems way, way tedious to be loading up your ship the way that they have it. But with the way that they have described it. Maybe I need to watch the second half of the aUEC that he's talking about here, but the first half that I watched a week ago or 2 weeks ago or whatever, it seems super tedious, and I don't know if I want to mess around with that. Like, it just sounds bizarrely over the top and unnecessary.
But instead of talking about the hangar, the focus was on its terminal in your hangar, the hangar kiosk.
Freight elevators are going to be implemented as an access point inside of player hangars, and you'll use a kiosk to interact with the freight platform in order to call things up from your inventory or to put things into your inventory.
The player controls the freight elevator through the freight elevator kiosk because we have to coordinate between 3 different doors. The kiosk is what determines when
Thank
the
you,
doors
Squirrel.
should
You have a
open,
good
when the
night.
doors should close, when the cargo get loaded and all that stuff. So that is the physical thing that's basically going to bring up cargo for you and then also like take cargo from you when you
But see,
sell.
this kiosk, it also sounded like what I was hearing is that that's how you're going to be moving your inventory in and out of your ship as well. So your ship guns, your weapons, or excuse me, your guns, your armor, your medical supplies, and I really don't want to have to keep doing that over and over again just to get ready to go out on a bunker mission. Like, it sounds ridiculously stupid. You know, I spent 18 years of my life plus being a box jockey in a warehouse. I really, really, outside of pirating and, you know, things like that, I really, really, really don't want to end up being a box jockey in this game just to move my guns, my armor, and my medical stuff from my inventory to my ship for a bunker mission. Like, it just sounds over the top, and hopefully it's not that way. Hopefully I'm overreacting, but I just really, really don't want to have to deal with that.
The kiosk is going to be the center point of the hangar. This is
I
really
agree,
where
pork chop.
you'll manage everything. So it's not just the cargo stuff that you manage through the kiosk. You will be able to manage your inventory, basically bringing up the stuff, sending it.
Oh, all ship storage is going away. I'm going to have to carry boxes. So if that's true, you're telling me I have to go into my kiosk, pull out all, like let's say I just bought a Cuddy Black. I just finished upgrading it, which took an hour to fly from the ass end of the verse to the other. Then I have to land, pull it out of the kiosk, put it in a box, put it on my ship, and then if I want to put it on the racks to make my ship look aesthetically pleasing, I have to then take it out of the box and put it on the racks. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Or from only the ship lockers? Still, no. It doesn't make sense to me, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I bet you it's going to be broken as hell.
Carl Kaput. I'm the leader of Grief and
What's up, Carl? Yeah, that's I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to use the hard R. This system sounds retarded. And I mean it in the exact definition of the term. It's retarded. It's holding back accomplishment.
Back, it's also going to be those small items. You also going to have some sort of inventory box that you will be able to interact with, to put stuff in it. Basically, everything is going to go through that kiosk. So everything is central to the kiosk.
Now
So what they're saying is, like, so if you have, let's say, you want to put guns in your medical Pisces, which has no inventory, you're going to have to put it in a box and then put it in your Pisces, because there'll be no inventory. At least that's what I'm gathering. If that's true, that's going to be very, very terrible, and it makes the whole adding ship cargo on light fighters kind of backwards then, because I think it's only the Gladius and maybe the Saber. I could be wrong on that, but I know the Gladius for sure has an outside compartment to go into your inventory. So I don't know how it's going to work, guys. I don't know. Maybe I'm going a little over the deep end here, but it's at this point it's speculation.
left this clip long and unedited, and as they said, this is the center of your hangar. This is the most important thing in it. but without seeing and hearing more, it's really hard to visualize. So we're going to have to, just get more detail on a lot of these things.
Soon TM.
The most important thing of this kiosk for me is stacking items and managing my inventory with the least amount of clicks possible. Because when it's physical, it's going to be a lot of manual moving. It's going to be kind of a pain, but not entirely.
We are still going to have a certain amount of automated loading in the game. It just won't be instantaneous. You'll have to use a service. It'll cost a little bit more. It'll take time. You won't have access to your ship while it's being loaded.
Okay, so the automated systems are in place, so players who don't want to participate in this way don't have to. That's great. Some people are going to like this and, want to...
How long is the wait time going to be, though?
Cargo-type gameplay, but a majority of players...
I'm not into cargo, but let's say I want to put my guns and stuff in my ship and I don't want to move it myself. Is it going to take 3 minutes? Because at that point...
They kind of explain what it is here.
In addition to the freight platform access, we want to give players the ability to access smaller items without having to go to a hangar. And for this, we're going to add some kind of what I...
Well, it'll be inside the hangar, but I don't know if you guys know this. You can shoot into the hangars. You can do it.
call an item bank. And this is just like a secure box kind of access point in the landing zone so that you don't have to go to a hangar, and it'll look very similar to the other personal inventory interactions. And you can move smaller items around there, such as handguns or...
Wait. Let's back this up a little bit.
In the landing zone, so that you don't have to go to a hangar, and it'll look very similar to the other personal inventory interactions.
What's up, Dirty?
And you can move smaller items around there, such as handguns or meta pins.
Now, unfortunately, this wasn't as exciting as I expected it to be. So all it is smaller little closets around landing zones for you to access your inventory for smaller items, probably located near like ASOP terminals or something like that. And then they share, I think, some of the most important info of the show, in my opinion.
And of course, all of this comes with a large amount of economy tuning that's going to need to rebalance things now that we have physicalized movement, guaranteed friction on the transactions. So all of these things we can use to rebalance.
This will be good. This will be really good.
To where if you're interested in taking high risks, there's a path for you to maybe get a better profit. Vice versa, if you don't want to, there's still a way for you to be able to play the game and not be overly punished.
None of these changes coming to cargo matter unless we have an economy that makes sense.
Yes.
We are severely lacking in that department, and this has to be the focus during the development of these features.
I'm going to assume, Vish, that you're going to have to pay the automated thing. You're going to have to pay the automated thing, and then from there, you'll just wait. Which I want to know what that wait time is going to be. You know, we already spent a lot of time standing around in transitional spaces waiting for things to happen, and I really don't like that. I really don't like that. That's one of the things that I really dislike most about Star Citizen. I used to think that this game was exciting and there really was no downtime, and the more I've played and the more I've really dug into this game, the more I find out that you're really standing around a lot in these transitional spaces waiting for something. You're waiting for a ship. You're waiting for your, well, in this patch, you're waiting for your inventory to work. You're waiting for your friend to show up. You're waiting for somebody to quantum to you. You're waiting to quantum, or you're sitting in quantum waiting. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're right, Bish. While you're waiting, people will probably ram. That'll probably be the new thing people will do, is they'll probably wait for you to be in the loading process, and they'll probably, you know, ram you while you're on a mining pad. This is why armistice zones need to go away. Thank you for the 9 likes, guys. Armistice zones need to go away. They need to be free-for-all areas with automated turrets, just like the ones around bunkers, around the mining pad, around the mining station. That's what it should be. That's what it should be.
Next, many of you watching may deem this next clip
nice,
the
Uncle.
most important information of the show.
Exactly,
It looks
Skeet.
like a simple subject, but there's
Sneaking
a lot of little
onboarding,
things to
setting the
think
snare,
about,
yeah.
like people buying some gear, giving to their friend, and claiming it back. What happens to the version if your buddy gets looted by somebody? How do we want to kind of cope with that?
You would have a lost and found within your hab. So if you're playing, your mission crashes, you lose your progress, but you can go back to your hab, restart that mission, grab that item, and continue on where you left off. And we're really hoping to apply this to subscriber items and other unique items.
Hold on a second. Let me back that up a
You
little
can
bit.
go back to your hab, restart that mission, grab that item, and continue on where you left off.
Oh, no, 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 no. Bad CIG.
If you're playing, your mission crashes, you lose your progress, but
Looted by somebody, how do we want to kind of cope with that?
you would have a lost.
The most important information of the show.
It looks like a simple subject, but there's a lot of little things to think about, like people buying some gear, giving to their friend and claiming it back. What happens to the version? If your buddy gets looted by somebody, how do we want to kind of cope with that?
You would have a lost and found within your hab. So if you're playing, your mission crashes, you lose your progress, but you can go back to your hab, restart that mission, grab that item, and continue on where you left off. And we're really hoping to apply this to subscriber items and other unique items as well.
Subscriber items being saved is super important.
This is what I'm hung up on.
Your buddy gets looted by.
Right there.
There's a lot of little things to think about, like
I want you to
people buying
if your buddy gets looted.
some gear, giving to their friend and claiming it back. What happens to the version? If your buddy gets looted by some.
Okay. That's what I was shaking my head at and saying no, 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 no. If there's PvP interaction and you gave armor and a weapon to your friend and he died and he gets looted, I'm sorry guys, but this is my opinion, too fucking bad. That's the chance you take when you leave your hab. Somebody could shoot you and kill you and take your stuff. Or they can take your friend's stuff because you gave it to them. Too bad. Too bad. Too bad. Now, if the game crashes or you 30K and you were in the middle of a mission, yeah, I see that. I don't see that as a problem. I don't see that as a problem at all. But if there's PvP going on, I don't care if you got rammed. I don't care if you got shot down. I don't care if somebody snuck up on you and put a knife in your back. I don't care how it happened. I really don't care. That stuff should be gone. It should be gone. And I don't give a damn if it's subscriber gear. I really don't. It should be gone. That person owns it now. If they looted it, it's gone. It's gone. And then that brings Vish. That brings up another really important point. Does that mean I'm going to be able to dupe things because I'll be able to give it to you? You can throw it on the ground, and then I can just call it back, and then you can pick up that item, and now there's two of them. Are we going to be able to dupe things? Because that's kind of sounds what it kind of sounds like. But let's get back to where he was.
You lose your progress, but you can go back to your hab, restart that mission, grab that item, and continue on where you left off. And we're really hoping,
like I said, crashes 30Ks, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. But PvP stuff, no, I'm not good with it.
Saved is super important. People pay real money for them or search far and wide to get these things in game. Being able to not lose them so easily is, I think, really important.
Crashes only. PvP? No. No.
When you want to go fix a problem, you're supposed to go to the root of the problem, right? And the root of the problem here is that every item that you purchase on the website or like is rare is not a skin or anything. It is a unique version of something. So you're just there's tons of them. And if you're going to use this solution, then you're going to just be creating more clutter.
Yes.
You know, instead of applying like a skin to a basic armor in the game like everyone else does it, I'm personally not happy with the solution on how they've explained it so far.
I'll agree with Mike on this one big time. The items in the game, each one, so if you buy like the heart Artemix, the red alert Artemix armor, that's a completely unique set of armor that's totally separate and different from all the other Artemix elevator armors. So those armors, it's not just a skin on it. So they have created these, and I don't know how many are in there, but 4 dozen, 5 dozen, 100 different versions of these armors and weapons that don't need to exist in their database. It just needs to be a skin. That's all it needs to be. So, you know, it's fine. Oh, and like I said, like that sort of stuff I'm okay with. It's when it's player-to-player interaction. They said in there that if your buddy gets looted, you can call that stuff back. I do not agree with that. I don't care if you gave him $10 subscriber gear and $10 subscriber weapons. If say somebody else comes by and kills them and takes that from them, you should not have the ability to claim that back. If you went out and you got shot down and you were in your awesome gear that you spent, 3 months trying to find that patch cycle and you lost it, I'm sorry, you lost it. Like, there should be no way to call that back or claim it back or anything like that. You lost it. Now, 30Ks, crashes, bugs, I understand that. But everything else, like if you die, like if you're doing bounties and you get shot down by an NPC and you lose your stuff, too bad, so sad. I'm sorry. I don't think you should be okay. I don't think that should be okay. Yeah, I don't agree with it. But I do have a feeling what's going to happen, and they're going to have to figure out a way around this. It's the same thing with, like, look, I understand why people do it. They do it to be left alone, to make a decent amount of credits and whatnot. But calling your ship out, flying it into deep space, having your friend meet you out there, he starts scraping it, you backspace and go back to, whatever spawn point you have, taking another scraping ship and going out there and scraping that ship together and splitting the profit. Yeah, you don't make as much as you would doing it other ways, but that should not be allowed. That's technically what that is that's insurance fraud, and you should be getting a criminal stat for that if you're caught, or if you get caught selling your own RMC off of your own old ship. Like, you should get a crime stat for that. Now, granted, I know we're not that far and that advanced into the game for us to do stuff like that, but that is technically insurance fraud. What I see people doing, and I know they're going to do it, is like me and Adam meet up in the game and I go, here, take my armor, take my gun. Okay, cool. Well, throw it on the floor for me. Put it on, then throw it on the floor for me. Claim. And now I have another set. And Adam's got the other set. He picks it back up, throws it back on the ground, or I give him the new one and I pick up the old ones and I claim, and it'll just keep going over and over and over and over again. But I think there should definitely be consequences for PvP, whether you instigated the PvP or not. There should be consequences for death. There should be consequences for you losing to an NPC. There should be consequences just like there is now. Like, you go into a bunker and you get shot the hell up by NPCs. If MedRunner ain't going to come and get you and you decide to backspace, you run the risk of somebody else going into that bunker and taking it. Or, I think the NPCs should be allowed to loot your body too. I think they're experimenting with that on Tarkov, and there's another game I think they're experimenting with that on, where the bots will be able to loot your body. So I that's what I think.
And yeah, it's not good. Okay. And then we had a Star Citizen Live titled Behind the Dev, Sound Designers. And all I needed to hear was this.
And then we have our Behind the Dev shows. We haven't done one of these in a little while. And this is more like an interview type show. We're going to
it was a joke, Adam.
About Star Citizen over the next hour.
I'm skipping this episode for the review, obviously, but that doesn't take away from the fact that those devs are probably really cool people, and you can get to know them with the link in the description if you're interested. But for the purpose of providing Star Citizen information on this video, no.
Yeah, I like that, Semi.
And then for other updates, as always, we start out with a sneak peek. and I think I literally called it last week. This is the 500th sneak peek of the Santoki.
Yeah.
We had a lore makers community questions post, and they did some things on why do aliens look human, because they wanted actors to play as them, right? And obviously they wanted us to also play as aliens in the MMO, and yeah, that's kind of funny. And then they took years to get the female actor out, so I'm not really buying that one as much. Orison's atmosphere is highly unlikely for this to happen, and they basically just went with the rule of cool there, and they touched on a few other things like, are we still human after we regen, and the lore around how shields work. Link in the description for the full question and answer.
Yeah, I'm not
and
so
other
interested in
question
that.
and answers, we had a whole C Q&A, and the only intended routes for this ship are at the LEO stations, which are, refer to the ones that are in synchronous orbit with the major cities on each planet. The only city that makes sense here to use the whole C in, though, is Crusader, because it's obviously...
I love them as much as Carl loves them.
There. I honestly think I think they should add that. I think it makes sense. People basically explain why...
Carl's the leader of Medrunner, so I'm stuck in this really weird position.
They simply said that it's going to stay that way for now with no real explanation. I thought that one was super weird and kind of worth pointing out to you guys. And then they don't want to allow, they didn't and still won't allow pirates to use the system, which is I fine, I guess. They can use multiple smaller ships, but it also should be at Grim, right? Like, we should have docking colors at Grim. We should have these systems there.
Yes.
But Grim obviously needs a major rework as well. And then we had a Mirai Fury Q&A. No real surprise.
Yes, we can call them Medrunners.
Other than it's agile, which they've been saying a lot of.
Yeah, I heard if you say their name 3 times, they might show up in chat. Medrunners, Medrunners, Medrunners. Let's see if they show up.
And then the CitizenCon Pocket Guide. So if you're going to the event, this is probably a must read, because there's tons of info about the area of the event.
Hey, the Star Citizen 2953 CitizenCon Pocket Guide on sale today in the Pledge Store for $49.99. Get yours today while supplies last.
Menu and how to get there, all things like that. But it's also good for people like myself who aren't attending the event on what to expect from it. And just a note here, there's a lot of like TDD or like TBD. They'll be adding things. So yeah, it'll be updated as we get closer. But one thing that I noticed is that they're going to be taking extended breaks in between each panel, so people at the event can actually spend some time at it. This is going to make my own coverage of the event extremely difficult now, because it's going to make the day really long with lots of dead time in between. But I am going to be covering it on my Twitch stream this year, and it should also end up on my YouTube channel in some capacity. But yeah.
Depending on what crew I end up on, this might... I'm going to cover this. All depends on what crew I end up on and whether I'm working days, nights, all of that stuff. And whether I have the day off. I don't have the day off. We'll see. All of that is up in the air until sometime this week. I don't really know, but I should find out soon. I haven't decided if I'm going to stream it or if I'm going to host a Discord community event where I'll cover it and you guys can come and go. So you guys can come and go as you please, and I'll just leave it up. It'll be more like a live stream than like, a whole bunch of people coming in. Like, I might have like maybe like Marcus, a Pagan, a Canop, maybe maybe a JT, kind of like the original. I'm not saying you guys aren't part of the original crew. I'm just saying like the very, very first and original crew that I ever ran around with. Mason, maybe, if you'd be interested. I've never heard his voice before. And sit around and kind of do like a campfire session, and the fire will be Star Citizen CitizenCon. I don't know how I'm going to cover it or if I'm going to be able to cover it, but we'll get to that part soon. Hopefully.
So you can expect to see me
soon.
there.
TM.
Get subscribed if you haven't yet for that. And that will do it for this week. I did record over the weekend.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you. That was very well done. That went on a lot longer than I thought it would. We were stopping and talking over a lot of points in that.